What's up, everybody, and welcome to SANDCAST U. My name is Madison Fitzpatrick, and I'm your host. And if you're new to SANDCAST U, what this is essentially an extension of SANDCAST that's hosted by Tri and Travis. And what we do at SANDCAST U is exclusively cover collegiate beach volleyball as we head to Gulf Shores May 2nd through the 4th and the national championship. So like I said before, I'm happy you're here. My name is Madison Fitzpatrick. I played at Florida State, and I am happy to be your host as I take you through the collegiate beach volleyball season. Well, if you know me, you know I like to get down to business. So what I want to talk about today is the East meets West tournament that happened this past weekend. The first team I want to talk about at East meets West is Texas. Texas lost to number 1 UCLA and number 2 LMU. But here's the thing about that loss. It came down to one court. Texas lost 2-3 against number 2 LMU. The teams that won for Texas were the top 2 courts. At the ones, Ava Lisa and Chloe Charles defeated Schaefer and Prehit. And at the twos, Emma Grace Robertson and Katie Hashman defeated Chloe Hooker and Anna Poloia. Then Texas beats Cal, which is technically an upset, and Hawaii. In the Cal win, Texas won at the 2s, the 3s, and the 4s. Overall, Texas is 13-4. And you know what that communicates to me? That communicates to me that Stein Metzger is doing big things. This is a brand new team. This is a team that Stein Metzger had to build from zero all the way up. So the fact that they are 13-4 after just going from nothing to here is so impressive. This is a team that Stein Metzger really poured into, getting transfers, getting really solid freshmen, getting players that played on the national team in their home country. So he is building this team like he wants to win a national championship. And if it's not this year, I can promise you, Texas is going to be a front runner in years to come, which is so cool because Stein Metzger is building this team from the floor all the way up. Next team I want to talk about is LMU. LMU, number 2, is still 17-1. Their only loss on the season so far was to UCLA at the beginning of the season. Over the last 3 years, LMU has gone 2-2 at the East meets West. Well, no more. This is an LMU team that is ranked at the top of the country, and this year they won all 4 of their matches at East meets West against ranked opponents. They took down LSU in a sweep, Texas, FIU in a sweep, and FSU at the 2s, 3s, 4s, and 5s. What I'm really impressed with is the depth at LMU. They don't seem to have any weak courts. They're very consistent. This is one of the deepest LMU teams we've seen in a while. John Mayer knows what he's doing, and the 3s, the 4s, and the 5s went undefeated at this very difficult tournament. That's not an easy thing to do. All right, next up I want to talk about FSU. FSU leaves the East meets West going 2-2, so not bad in the least bit for the young team. They got wins over Cal, which is technically an upset, and Hawaii. They lost to UCLA in a sweep and LMU. The biggest shining spot for the Noles this weekend was their win over Cal. At the ones, Audrey Koenig and Alexis Durish defeated Emma Donnelly and Portia Sherman. I was bragging on Emma Donnelly and Portia Sherman last week because they are so good, one of the top ones in the country. So the fact that Alexis Durish and Audrey Koenig defeated them, I think that shows a lot of promise and a lot of potential for the ones pair at Florida State. 4s, Bailey Higgins and Kara Sasic won, and the 5s, McKenna Wolf and Mariah Massey won against Cal. And that's what gave Florida State that win over Cal. So a lot of promise for the Florida State Seminoles. Next, I want to talk about UCLA. UCLA just continues to impress. Quite simply, they went 4-0 at the East meets West. They defeated Texas, LSU, and they swept Florida State, which is not an easy thing to do, and FIU. There were some pairs for UCLA that went undefeated for the entirety of the tournament. That was the 2s, Brennan and Miskowski, the 4s, Fernandez and Matthews, the 5s, Jessie Smith, Harper Cooper, and sometimes Sophie Moore got thrown into there. I don't think it's a leap to say that UCLA is most definitely the front runner as we get closer to Gulf Shores, as we look to the national championships. Right now, UCLA ranked number 1, rightly so. They have proven that they are out for blood this season. Now, this was the first true test for LSU, who up until this point, the tournaments that they've been playing in, the teams that they've been playing have not been challenging them. So East meets West was the first true test for LSU. They lost to LMU, UCLA, Cal, but they beat Hawaii. Now, here's the thing about LSU and Russell Brock. Even if they are right here losing to 3 teams in the East meets West, LSU always performs at the national championships. Russell Brock knows how to get his team peaking in May. That's something that he's great at. That's something that he has proven year after year. Last year, LSU upset Stanford and TCU to make it all the way to the semifinals, where they played UCLA at the national championship tournament. So if I know anything, I know that Russell Brock has got his team locked and loaded and really working to peak in May. All right, well, that's a little recap of the East meets West. I hope that everyone has a wonderful rest of your day. Thank you so much for joining me on SANDCAST U, and I can't wait to see you next time.